Just coming from the front lines to give you today's podcast. A lot of people deal with very serious life situations. We deal with that. Our loved ones, those that we work with and care for, deal with very intense life situations. A lot of people are going through hopelessness, despair, just overwhelming things in their life for themselves and their loved ones, as I said. And we're going to discuss some of that in today's podcast, along with some encouragement. And I'm a nurse on the front lines of mental health and emergency and still going. This is the nurseann.com podcast, and there's a link at the nurseann.com website. That's Ann with an E to all the podcasts. And what I do is also I give you, today we're going to do at the end for the bonus, is going to be an excerpt from my published fictional drama. It's a 6-part series I created in my free time as a busy nurse that just shows you the struggles that people go through, worldwide life struggles, mental battles, mental strongholds, not just of people that we see out there and take care of, but the mental battles that we deal with every day. And we're going to jump into that where we left off in the last podcast. We've been talking about life battles, mind struggles, addictions, ruminations, how we talk to ourselves, about ourselves and about others, and just so many other things. So we're going to jump into that now. I know your time is valuable. You have more things, other things to do, and more podcasts to watch. So we're going to start off with my published devotional, Mental Healing Poetry Devotional, and I chose a serious subject today. As I said, as a nurse on the front lines of emergency and mental health for many years and still going, just seeing the struggles that people go with, whether they're homeless and have addictions and thought strongholds, thought battles, hallucinations, relapse, just hopelessness in general. And of course, it doesn't help when you don't have stable housing or people in your life to help you. But this one is probably one of the more serious poems just to touch on this subject, and it's called Man on the Bridge. And as I said, it's from my Mental Healing Poetry Devotional, link at nurseann.com, and with an E. And I'm going to read it to you, and then it's also a devotional, so we'll just get into a little bit of help and encouragement. So, Man on the Bridge. Man on the bridge, why are you here? What happened in your life? What caused you to fear? Life's sorrows, struggles, emotional pain. Some days bring sunshine. Others are drenched with rain. It's hard to hang on when the pain lingers long. But please don't give up. Don't give up on your life. God loves you so much, as well as your kids and your wife. So give it another chance. Let God show you his ways. Please give life another chance. Friend, I pray that you will see brighter days, as well as in your heart to be able to sing, and perhaps in your soul also to dance. And I was inspired. I really liked Psalm 34:18 because it reminds us that the Lord is near to us, to them that are of a broken heart, and he saves those who have a humble and contrite, broken spirit. So just remember that even when we have broken hearts, we're going through a lot. God, when we call out to him, he promises to be near us. And also, just looking to the future hope in Isaiah 55:12, tells us that we will one day go out with joy and be led forth with peace, and the mountains and the hills will break forth before you into singing, and all the trees of the field will clap their hands. And the devotional part that I wrote for you does remind us that the trials and compulsions that threaten to consume our lives can sometimes lead us to feel hopelessness and despair. But I do want to remind you, no matter what the battle you might be facing, that I want to remind you that there is an eternal anchor of hope that God has promised us, and he can calm every raging storm and even invite you to walk on the waters of faith to a place of victory. I want to see that for you one day. An invitation awaits for you to reach out for help in every situation. God can lead you to a trusted counselor, a family member, or friend, so many different avenues. And he promised that, like I said in the verse, that when we are brokenhearted and crushed in spirit, he loves to save us and give us comfort. He's just a prayer and a heartbeat away. So my friend, I do hope that you will reach out for salvation and life. Reach out to someone today if you're going through hopelessness and despair. Don't give up. And as I said, that's from my Mental Healing Poetry Devotional by Nurse Ann. That's me. Follow this page, like it, share it, leave your comment today of your struggles or those that you're helping. And I did write this because we discuss life challenges along with that God-ordained courage and healing, mental healing, to help us turn away from mindsets controlled by fear, inspiration to step into your true destiny of a faith walk in a purpose-driven path. God does call us through all these struggles and trials, deepens our faith and to refine our purpose, and also that spills onto helping others. So we'll go on to the next one. I just released the Ignite Life Poetry Devotional, and the one that I chose today is about homelessness. And the reason that I wrote this book, as I said, as a nurse on the front line and just anyone going through life, as you go, reminding as we go, dare to inspire and bless everyone in your path. The life stories that we encounter daily are filled with struggle, triumph, joy, sorrow, self-doubt, and everything in between. Challenge yourself to discover these stories of others and ignite passion and potential for your own journey, along with providing that mutual encouragement for others. Life is a bit easier when we encourage each other. Speak life. Enough with hating on people and staying angry and trying to bring others down for whatever reason that people do that. Let's choose to encourage people, be kind, and speak life. And as I said, as a certified emergency and mental health nurse on the front lines, I'm continually learning humanity on every level, as I'm sure you are too. And you know what? Our individual experiences can collide to weave a patchwork of beauty and grace. So today I chose one, as I said, about homelessness. This is real. It's going on everywhere. And it's very sad, very hard for those dealing with that. And even if you're helping others deal with that. And this one is called Street Survivors. Cold, dark concrete, stomach full of hunger. How do I survive or warm my bare feet? Danger and fear surround me like fog. The sun batters down, advancing my years. Is all this my fault? Did I deserve the abuse? My childhood was flawed. I feel of no use. In the devotional part that I want to remind us is that trauma-informed care implores us to look past the exterior of people and quell our judgment. What has this person endured? Do they have the tools to even heal? Can we show compassion and action? And Isaiah 25:4 reminds us that he's been a strength to the poor, a strength to the needy in their distress, a refuge from the storm, a shadow from the heat, when the blast of the terrible ones is as a storm against the wall. And that reminds me, I did write another one in my mental healing poetry devotional, also about homelessness, and also a lot of people living on the street are also dealing with that life of trauma and or abuse, and also maybe frightening hallucinations, just trying to survive, with a lot of ravenous predatory wolves. It's not easy. And this one is called Sheep Among Wolves. And there's also, that's the title of my first story in the 6-part drama, is Sheep Among Wolves, about a young lady on the street battling frightening hallucinations, trying not to get consumed by those ravenous predatory wolves trying to get to her. She had that life of trauma and abuse, and you're going to meet her in this fictional drama of what goes on in mental health and emergency in the world. So, sheep among wolves. Alone on the street, a sheep among wolves. A girl's gotta eat, so what can she do? She begs you for money when you pass by her way. You just look at her funny as you go about your day. It must be her fault. She did something wrong. But you don't know the short or the long. Her mom's on drugs. Her dad's not around. The girl grew up with no toys and no hugs. Hey, you. Open your eyes. Check your heart. You think you know truth, but believe your own lies. Wake up. Look around. It's about time we do our part. And the devotional part reminds us, as I said, I'm a nurse on the front lines, and I see so many people struggling with mind battles, homelessness, addictions, and so much more. And unfortunately, most of these people have had their innocence stolen by trauma and abuse. And it's deplorable to see someone without any safe shelter or food. Yet, at the same time, these lost sheep try to manage frightening hallucinations taking over their mind while attempting to fend off ravenous predatory wolves. This is real. And one of my trauma-informed care heroes is Mother Teresa. I am greatly inspired by how she and her crew combed the dirty streets and picked up those who had been tossed aside due to illness, poverty, and even those dying a lonely and painful death. Theirs was a life dedicated to helping the ostracized and stigmatized have some moments of peace, dignity, and love amid a society that was content to throw them away. And I know we can't always give money for many reasons, but it does go a long way to offer eye contact, a listening ear, prayers, and general empathy and compassion. Unfortunately, many of these traumatized individuals have not experienced respect or kindness their whole lives. Once again, I pray that as we go, wherever you're going, as you go, that grace and mercy will move us to show compassion in action and speak life. So once again, Mental Healing Poetry Devotional, Ignite Life Poetry Devotional. I'm going to jump into the fictional drama so I can wind this up for you. But just to remind you that I also have Word Puzzles Devotional. And this is also interesting words linked to everyday life and our inner thought struggles, along with relevant biblical prescriptions, so you can get your dose of wisdom and inspiration. I want you and those that you help to overcome and thrive. It's hope and new light for your life journey, medicine for your soul. Word Puzzles Devotional was a lot of fun to do. It's a lot of fun to read because there's interesting and new words in here. And also, this is a very book that touches on a lot of these topics of despair and hopelessness, just things that we go through. It's called Inspiration Battles Devotional. And it's also soul searching with a dose of encouragement, because the battle to stay inspired can seem overwhelming at times. I'll let you check that out. As I said, link at the website, nurseann.com. And with an E, there's one more, Energize Health, Body, Mind, and Spirit, because you know that to have the best life for ourselves and to help others, it works in synergy, our body, mind, and spirit. So I'm not going to keep you waiting. We're going to jump into where we left off, because as you know, this nurseann.com is an audiobook podcast where I read you, each podcast I read you one chapter from this 6-part fictional drama that I created in my free time as a busy nurse on the front lines. I read you one chapter, then we break it apart as it relates to real life and our own thought struggles, life struggles, and everyone else. So I put it in one book to make it cheaper and easier, the Mental Files First 6 Stories edition. And it's also an audiobook. If you want to follow along on this book club, you can get the book, you can listen to the podcast, and also the audiobook cover looks like this. It's the Mental Files First 6 Stories edition by Nurse Ann, and that was narrated by Drama Simpson. He brought it to life with siren noises and so much action, because with your help, one day it's going to be a television drama series. to just highlight the struggles that people go through in emergency mental health and the world at large, for yourself and for others. So we finished book 1, Sheep Among Wolves. Now we're in book 2, Dr. John Doe, which is they rescued an elderly man running in traffic, screaming he was a doctor. This series deals with homelessness, addictions, depression, Alzheimer's, dementia, people getting bullied, losing their inspiration, more homelessness, bullying, anxiety, fear, autism spectrum, even finding out that everyone can be the real hero in some aspect because we all have talents and life passions. Relapse and addiction, the season finale is out of control. And you're also going to see the culmination of the events in the frontline workers' lives in the relationship drama. So we'll jump into this, then I'll let you go. Chapter 14 is memory care, leading up to this. And I usually explain it, but I don't want to take up any more time. You can go to the nurseann.com website, and with an E, there's a podcast tab and a Patreon tab where you can listen to all of these free podcasts from the beginning up if you want to hear from the beginning, or just pick and choose wherever you want to be. Get the book, listen to the audiobook. So this one is titled Memory Care, Chapter 14. The treatment team on the mental health unit gathered the family of the former doctor into the conference room to discuss the plans. After talking briefly with her father prior to the meeting, his daughter had a glimmer of hope as she relayed that he was actually able to remember some details of a family vacation when she was younger. They found out that their dad was struggling with dementia, so they're trying to plan on how to help him. And the treatment team acknowledged her and also educated the family on more detailed aspects of dementia and what to expect. The family was surprised to learn that some of the patients were able to recall events from the past better than the present. And that just reminds you can reminisce if you help someone with dementia or struggling memory issues. The family expressed their worry about the stages of progression. They were able to regain a bit of hope when they learned about neuroplasticity. You know, that's a great word because it reminds us that our brain does regenerate and rewire and form those new circuits and pathways. And that's something you can work on at any age to get started on that. But they were, they even thought that maybe they could attempt word puzzles or other simple brain games if Dad will allow us, offered his daughter. And I could reminisce about our fishing trips, added his son. Pleased that the family was engaged and motivated, the doctor also added they might share pictures with him, including photos of his late wife. Anything to stimulate his mind and senses. His daughter also asked about a healthy diet for her dad and possible supplements along with his medicines. As the meeting came to a close, everyone was on board that hiring a sitter would be a wise safety plan, especially since he had gotten out of the home last time, was running in traffic, very dangerous, screaming that he was a doctor. And this fictional drama is based on just struggles that people go through, struggles that families see in their loved ones, so much more. So I'm going to end it here. The Mental Files First 6 Stories by Nurse Ann, your favorite nurse, new indie author and new spoken word poet. Make sure you follow this channel, like it, leave a comment today, please. Help this become a television drama series. And I will see you on the next nurseann.com podcast. That's Ann with an E. Have a great day.